else as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot trainee, sought national publicity, weighing in on a hot-button presidential executive order. So someone who has deliberately chosen to place herself in the middle of a polarizing debate and voluntarily choosing to reveal the most intimate details of her life to try to make an ideological point against the president, the newly elected president of the United States. Right? She jumped feet first into a hot button debate, and she offered up the intimate details of her own life, many of which plausibly lined up with a possible identity for this Black Hawk helicopter. And then for approximately 34 hours after people started inquiring about her online, right? 34 hours, she waits 34 hours and then comes forward and says, no, it's not me. And this is not someone who's a hermit. This is not someone who's a shrinking violet. This is not someone who can plausibly say, don't invade my privacy, because she chose to reveal the most intimate details of her life to make an ideological point against the president of the United States in a hot button national issue of the transgender serving in the US military. So when people raise the birther conspiracy theory against Barack Obama, he could have released his birth certificate. After a week of that nonsense, he could have released his birth certificate, but he chose not to. He chose to allow this debate to rage for years before he finally decided to release his birth certificate. I assume he thought that it was to his advantage, that it would be discrediting of his most fervent opponents to allow them to go on and on, raising questions about his birth certificate. So he chose to allow that torrent of misinformation to go on because he thought it was to his advantage. And then after years of that, he strategically decided, now I'm finally going to release the birth certificate. So if there is a torrent of inquiries about your whereabouts, right, hundreds, thousands of people inquiring about your whereabouts because you just went on a national major show and you released intimate details about your life, and you place yourself right in the center of a hot button public controversy about transgender serving in the military.